Ayo, ayo. Oh no, oh no, I can't hear Ronnie. Oh no, this is a disaster. I can't hear Ronnie. Oh no. Please, somebody leave a comment. Can you hear Ronnie, or is this just a me thing, or is this an everybody thing? No. Ronnie, if you can hear me, Jaime's come. I can't hear you. I don't think anybody can hear you, Ronnie. This is a great start to the show. Well, while Ronnie tries to figure this out, thank you so much for tuning in here on a Wednesday. Oh, what a great way to start the show. Hope y'all are doing well. But while Ronnie gets his stuff sorted out here, I can see a few comments from Jaime that I'm sure Ronnie will pull up when he can. But Jaime, thank you so much. Always appreciate tailgating the show. Thank you for letting us know that it is a Ronnie issue. Same to you, Baron. Yes, here we are on a Wednesday, bringing you the sports action that we can. We'll be once Ronnie gets on, of course, we'll be recapping two shows worth of UFC, get a little fight dog action. Plus, we got, of course, the NFL playoffs ramping up here. NBA started to go. We have the big three making their debut for the Nets tonight, unsuccessfully. And one thing that I'll just go ahead and start with here. Myself being a massive Charger fan, you can even see from the board I held up at the beginning. Good friend of the show, former co-host Justin wanted me to put that on there. But Phillip Rivers today did announce his retirement after 17 seasons in the NFL. I think we all kind of knew it was coming. His numbers kind of speak for itself. I mean, this guy was just always a stud. He's fifth all-time in passing yards, 63,440 yards, fifth all-time in touchdowns, 421 TDs, eight-time Pro Bowler. Oh, here we go. Do we have Ronnie back?
Maybe? Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now, Ronnie.
Oh, thank God. I mean, are you really that happy? But yes, I am back. Oh, God.
I'm happy because I don't like doing shows by myself, but I'm glad to
fully appreciate that. But been a rough couple days here. I've been under the weather and was, waffling on should I do this one or not? But by the grace of God, I am here. Thank you.
Look, last time you said to not do a show, it got you kicked off the show. So,
and I don't want to risk that again. Can't afford that.
No.
Tonight you see my Raider Cup, also brought to you by Alka-Seltzer.
There we go.
Plus the nighttime version. But yes, it's been a little sticky. Just happy to be here with you guys. Like I said, definitely under the weather, but commitment to the show overrides all. So I am here for you guys. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up with your calls. Just join in. I see No ID Justin on deck, also on the caller line. Be prepared to jump in because I don't know how long I can take this thing. So please be on deck. But Tyler, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good, man. I was just just kind of running down the show explaining, we got two UFC cards to go over, although I didn't get to see the one today, but I'll have a lot of notes on the one from Saturday. We got the Nets unsuccessfully starting the Big Three era. And then I was starting to talk about the retirement of one Mr. Felipe Rios, Phillip Rivers, who did announce his retirement today. And actually, you kind of came in at the right time here. So I was just kind of explaining, Phillip Rivers' numbers again. Over 63,000 passing yards, fifth all time, 421 touchdowns, also fifth all time, 8-time Pro Bowl. There is a constituency out there that will say, Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. There is a small. I've seen it out there. I think that's mostly just people that just hate Phillip Rivers. I don't think the question is he a Hall of Famer? I think the question is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Agreed. Yeah. And let's really be honest, like the passing era of the NFL now, that like kind of what it is, like how is he not in the Hall of Fame? Like obviously he is getting in there, but I realize the NFL was not that in the past, but the numbers being thrown up, and Phil, you would probably give a more nuanced opinion of this, like watching him his whole career, but you'd have to say like this guy is bona fide. I mean, I don't really see any problem with him being in the Hall of Fame. So,
but do you think he's first ballot?
well, in the NFL, yes. Yes. I mean, the NFL Hall of Fame, it's like everyone gets in. Like
that's also a fair point.
And I hate the MLB Hall of Fame because of the
the
writer block.
Yes.
Just like, we didn't like this guy. Like, all right, dude, whatever. Clemens, Bonds, like, yes, we all know they're dickheads. Like, they're in the Hall of Fame. Like, let's just be real. Like, all right, if you're gonna block them out and not vote them in, all right, whatever. But the NFL is kind of the other way, where it's like a lot of, I don't want to say too many people get in, but kind of too many people.
Well, yeah, their thing is what, 7 people every year, no matter what. Like,
yeah. So, but I mean, even beyond that, Rivers obviously yes, like he is in. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And even as a Raiders / Alka-Seltzer fan.
Big Alka-Seltzer fan there.
And it was mostly, in the dark times for the Raiders. It was mostly Tomlinson just running all over their ass. Rivers, he's just that dude. I mean, he always was good. Like, even that last year on the Colts, like, I think, honestly, to him, it was just, like, time to step away. Like, I can't do it anymore. But he could have, like, there would be suitors out there for him. So, I don't think he's just, like, walking away, like, too early, but also walking away while he can still walk away, Like, you see these NFL guys, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm 50. That guy, like, he's, like, hobbling to the stand with his...
Right.
Like, it's pretty bad. So, and, everyone, like, bashed on Andrew Luck, even, for the Colts. Like, he didn't need it. He was a good football player. He was a great football player, but how are you going to bash a guy that just, like, walks away when they know it's time to walk away? So,
yeah, it's hard for me to not be biased in this, being a Chargers fan, and Rivers was the quarterback for his first start was in 2006 up until last season, and he never missed a game. That's got to count for something. I mean, that was was it 250 some odd consecutive starts? Just that being a quarterback starting that many times alone is insane. On top of the numbers, there's always the argument of Super Bowls, which I hate that in team sports. I really hate that argument in team sports, because a lot of the success of the Chargers over the years was because of Phillip Rivers. Like, they wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for him. And I guess I could understand the rings argument of basketball because you play offense and defense. Football, you play one side of the ball. There's only one ball to throw. So, there's a lot of issues I have when people talk about rings and team sports. But, I mean, just look at the numbers. And then, if you want to say, look, everybody was throwing in that time period, yes, everybody was. And he was better than just about everybody else. He put up more yards. He did it for a longer time. He got wins. It's, like I said, you can call it bias, but I think he's got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame for sure, no question. But I would definitely say first ballot, yes, just based off the numbers, the longevity, everything. And again, if you want to say, yeah, he didn't win the Super Bowl. Well, look at the three quarterbacks that were beating him in the AFC. Tom Brady, arguably the GOAT, going to have the most Super Bowls of any quarterback ever. Peyton Manning, one of the all-time greats at quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger, look, he sucks now, but let's not kid ourselves. There was a time where that dude was just unreal. So it's, again, I'm biased, but I think he's definitely got to go first ballot.
And 100%. Like, as the ultimate hater, all the dadgummit, like, it's like, oh man, this guy's
God
darn, like. That would be even more annoying to me on the field than just actually someone like cursing me to my face.
He's not swearing, yeah.
But that has like a little extra sting to it. But gotta put him in there. I mean, the stats he threw up. I mean, yes, I'm not getting over the hump. Like, we can all sit here and, him and haw about whatever happened. Like, well, he was great, but he wasn't that great, but whatever. But, like, the dude threw 1,000,000 yards, like, threw his arm off. Like,
in fact, actually, that's a great point because look at the last play of his career was a freaking Hail Mary in a playoff game, like a 60-yard, just like letting it rip. Like, That to me is like the most Phillip Rivers ending ever. It's just like some deep pass on the final play of a game.
Yeah. And as much as that Chargers team like tormented the Raiders, my Raiders, and also my Alka-Seltzer team, he was a force. I mean, he was there for like 12 years. Like
16.
You can't get past this guy. Like, the Raiders, they weren't good. So, maybe in between, yes, a couple, shots at it. But, you can't really, bash the dude. I mean, he was so good. And I always loved to hate on him for his, not dadgummits or his, weird throw. Whatever. But he was so good. It is what it is. I'm just gonna. I would say first ballot, yes, for me personally.
There we go. From a hater, from a Raider fan, from a Rivers hater.
I'm just throwing it out there as a hater.
Well, again, I will be sad. I'm glad he's going on his own terms, and I gotta say, I almost feel bad for his wife because they were already pumping out kids when he was still playing. Now that he's got nothing to do, oh boy, that dude's just gonna keep pumping them out.
Can we get to 15 kids, please?
I think they'll have 15 kids by the end of this show.
Is that good or bad? I mean, in the short term, I don't know.
I don't know. But so other news that we did mention today, let's switch over to the NBA. We weren't sure when it was going to happen, but we did get the debut of the Big Three for the Nets. And, at a losing effort to the Cavs, the 500 Cavs.
Yeah. I mean, all right. The first one, I'm going to give you a pass. But it's going to get weirder before it gets in, I don't know. I'm just going to ride out with this. I think this is everyone that was a fan of the Nets, maybe if you were a fan of the Nets, let's just see what happens. But you get all these guys on one team. I mean, and it wasn't even like a bad display. It went to, you could see double overtime. But Kyrie, I think he had like 3 assists in the whole game. So where are they going to find the ball? Like, who is going to have the ball, and what is going to be the plan? Like, that is kind of like the thing we're all wondering about. And I think just more, look, it's one game, but more fuel for the fire. Like, how is this going to even work?
Yeah, I mean, like, you said it. When you look at the big three's numbers, KD had 38 points, 12 boards, 8 assists. Harden had a triple-double, 21, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. And then Kyrie, 37 points on 15 of 28 shooting, but no other real stats beyond his shooting stats. It's just one game. And of course, they'll say that in the post-game press conference, and it's true. It's just, this is just the one game. This is their first game altogether. But I just
look, Kyrie. Nobody even knew where he was on Earth. So,
right,
like, the fact that he showed up was like, all right, we can build on this now. Like,
right. Yeah, but again, like it'll obviously. They're going to have to try and get some sort of a defense going. I mean, when you put up 135 and lose by double digits, that sounds like some Sacramento Kings stuff right there. But shout out to Colin Sexton dropping in 42 for Cleveland in that winning effort.
True, and I mean, this, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is going to be the team in the East. Like, all right, probably Bucks. Let's see what happens. Butler comes back for the Heat. But beyond that, I mean, they put this team together. So obviously the talent is there, but it's just like the question is out there. Like, what is going to happen? Like, all these guys playing every night. Like, what? Do they fight each other? Do they, like, everyone goes off? Like, I don't know. Like, it's
3 guys that need the ball and there's only one ball. So it's can they coexist? How long until this blows up? That's the question that we're all just waiting for.
Well, I will be tuned in, just kind of waiting, like, just waiting to see, like, either it's great or it's a terrible implosion of a team. But either way, I'm in. So
and let's not forget, all 3 players do have opt-out options in their final year. So if this doesn't work out, the Nets are going to be screwed for like the next 10 years.
Yeah. And shout out to the Rockets too, coming up on this deal. I mean, I would take the picks. I would take the bona fide, like, NBA players they have now from that deal. But
Oladipo as well, yeah.
It's gonna get, like I said, weirder before it gets more clarity there.
All right. Well, next up, Ronnie, if you can cue up the Fight Doctor intro here. We do have so we had a UFC card Saturday and one today that we'll go over right here.
Yes, sir. We got to bring the Fight Doctor in. I apologize again. We didn't have time on Monday to get this in, but UFC really showed out. I mean, it was their first one of the year, but they really, like, put it all out there, and it was a great card. And I mean, pretty much just very enjoyable.
Yep.
Like, as far as the ABC element of it, like, ABC, what? But the whole thing, like, really just, like, came off. So we got to check in with the Fight Doctor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. The heavyweight champion of the world.
I'll be
Yes,
honest.
sir.
I just wanted to hear the intro. Fucking love that intro. But so as Ronnie mentioned, on Saturday we did have the UFC's first show of 2021 on ABC midday on Fight Island. Just kind of like a whole weird confluence of events there. But awesome card they put on Saturday, just top to bottom. Even kind of the blowout fights were entertaining. We can start with that with the main event. We had Max Holloway just absolutely destroying Calvin Kattar. Won by a unanimous decision. I think the scores on that card were 50-43, 50-43, and 50-42, which I've never seen a fight that never went to the ground end with the 50-42 decision. But Holloway just on his game. I mean, to me, on that day, Saturday, he wipes the floor with everybody in that division. It's not even close. I think he even beats Volk easily, takes his belt back on that. Shout out to Kattar. I mean, that dude just ate so many shots and never went down. I don't know how. It was one of those things where, like, several times over, you're thinking, like, man, the ref's going to stop this any minute. Kattar never went down, and he kept fighting back. To his credit, he kept throwing punches at Holloway, but I believe I remember reading that Holloway set a record for, like, strikes in a fight in that one, just absolutely teeing off, cementing his spot still at the top of the division. Kind of leaves a question for Dana because, Volkanovski's already beaten Holloway twice for the title, but it's clear that Holloway is the next best guy in the division. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, well, he's lost twice, but I got nobody else to throw up against the champ. So it's kind of a weird position to put Dana in, but, I'm normally not for trilogy fights if somebody lost the first two already, but I wouldn't mind seeing Holloway and Volk go for a third one. Again, entertaining fight. Go out of your way to watch it. In the semi-main event, we had the old man fight, Carlos Condit and Matt Brown. Condit winning by unanimous decision. Fun fight. Both guys coming off of pretty bad losing streaks. This was the last fight of Condit's UFC contract. We'll see where that goes. Being that he's kind of old and the UFC might be done with him, I imagine Bellator will throw a bunch of money at him because that's what they do. But it was an entertaining fight, some nice striking, some good ground battles. I kind of thought this wouldn't be that fun of a fight, but turned out to be pretty entertaining. Also got to give shout-outs on that card. I was really pulling for Santiago Ponzinibbio. This is his first fight. I talked about it last week. This is his first fight since 2017. He's been out with a couple injuries, some life-threatening illnesses. I was really pulling for him, but he winds up getting knocked out on just a nice clean left by Li Jingliang. We'll see where Santiago goes from there. Really he wins because he was fighting again, first fight in 3 years, life-threatening illnesses. So can't really say he's a loser in this case, but I was really pulling for him. And then also the web sensation from last year, Joaquin Buckley, the man that last year had that crazy spinning knockout, winds up getting knocked the fuck out by Alessio Di Chirico. It was just perfect timing. Buckley ducked. I think he thought that Di Chirico was going to go for a jab. Buckley ducked. Di Chirico throws just a nice kick right to his head and drops him. What can you do, man? Them's the breaks. That happens sometimes.
That does happen, and I would say, yes, he gave us probably, realistically, like the knockout of the year. Probably nothing you've ever seen before last year.
No,
but
never.
Life comes at you fast. Like you're still
right.
out there. Like it happens.
Yeah.
So
look.
You can talk the game, but and I think he's very much still a capable fighter. But
absolutely,
it's just talking it up, working your way. Like I'm gonna double down on that. I'm gonna even do one better. Like, all right, well, first of all, we've never seen that before, so
right.
Maybe pump the brakes on that. But beyond that, like, then you get clapped, and it's hey, it happens.
Yeah, everybody gets caught eventually. So hopefully he can bounce back from this. One of the other big things that came out of Saturday, which it's funny I'm even mentioning this because I will be refuting it right after. But in an interview during the show, Dana White said he was talking to Khabib Nurmagomedov about possibly coming back. According to Dana, Khabib told him, "I'm gonna watch the pay-per-view, which is this upcoming Saturday with the Dana White or the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier fight." Said, "I'm gonna watch that, and if somebody wows me, then I will come back to fight them again." So that brought the hype up. That okay, hey, maybe he's coming back. I didn't necessarily buy it from the beginning. Dana's a promoter; he's gonna pull this shit. But those were his words, so that kind of got interest drumming up. So now we go to today. The UFC had a card again earlier this afternoon. I didn't really get to catch the card. Just kind of saw a couple highlights, read a couple things here. But before the card, there was a interview that came out from Sport 24, which is a Russian sports outlet here. They interviewed Khabib, and Khabib's words were, quote, "Fights in the UFC are not in my plans," end quote. So him kind of coming right out and saying, like, "Look, dude, I know Dana said this, but, like, I'm not even thinking about it." And honestly, Ron and I were talking about it with each other before the show. Like, there's no reason for him to come back. There's literally he doesn't need the money. He smashed everybody in the lightweight division. There's not a contender that can touch him. What does he have to prove? Unless maybe he wants to go up a weight class. That's literally the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, and, I mean, we saw he just walked through McGregor. Like,
everybody. He walked through everybody.
but even that, like, the build-up now. So it's like, all right, McGregor, like, he wins this fight. Maybe he fights someone else, and it's like all hands on deck. Like this. I mean, he doesn't really have any reason to come back. And I did see a quote today from him that was like, "I'm not rushing back to do anything that would disappoint my mother." So for that whole like family, he's like, dude, I proved what I had to prove. Like, yes, he would probably go out there and beat him again right now, like if they just fought today. But there's no like skin in the game for him to like just jump back in there. Like, all right, well, yeah, I'll take the $5 million. Not even that, probably like 2 or 3. But like it doesn't mean anything to him. He beat everyone that they put in front of him, and it's more of a family thing. Like, obviously, like you saw what he went through when his dad passed away, and it was just like, I'm gonna lay low. Yes, now my nephew's in here, my cousin, and he was there, very on board for that. But what does he have to prove? Like, I mean, if he does, you're gonna have to throw like a boatload of money at this guy, and like Tyler was saying, it doesn't even really seem like the money matters to him. Like, it's never been a problem for him to just like knock people out, choke them out. Like, this is what we do. Like, we train in the mountains, like the rear naked choke. Like, all we do is win. Like, that's it. So I don't see anything really enticing to him. Even if, Conor, yes, one of the great like mouths of the sport, like talkers, whatever, but like we saw what happened the first time. And I don't think that's very enticing to him.
Yeah, no, I really don't think it is. Conor would have to pull some stuff like verbally attacking Khabib's mother, and even then, I don't know if Khabib would fall for it.
But even that, I mean,
yeah, I don't know if Khabib would fall for it. I think he is done. Like you said, he's taken over the Eagle MMA gym, which his father ran. He's running it. He was in the corner for his cousin Umar Nurmagomedov, who fought today. Like you just said, won by a rear naked choke against Sergey Morozov, completely put him to sleep. I think his devotion to his family, to his father, to his father's teachings, like he is so in line with it. Like he's like, okay, like I don't care about the fighting. Like now I have to run this gym. My father ran this gym. That's all my father worried about. That's all I'm going to worry about. I got to keep his keep the gym alive, keep my father's legacy alive. I don't see, I see Nick, brought up the question. Maybe McGregor does win the first round KO. I don't think he will win with first. I mean, he might knock out Poirier. I don't think he will. And if he does, I don't think it'll be in the first round. But I think kind of no matter what McGregor does, this is it. I think Khabib is probably the only fighter I've seen that I believe when he says, like, I'm retired, I'm not coming back, I think he actually means it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of a problem, honestly, for Dana, because as far as, like, yes, you're always, like, working to get to, like, marketable guys. Like, Khabib, he doesn't really, like, run his mouth off. He's not, like, out there just like, oh, I'm going to beat this guy's ass, whatever. Like, he shows up and he wins. And then when he leaves, it's like, he's the best. So, like, it's good and bad for Dana, I guess, because you have that, like, no one can beat this guy, but also, like, he doesn't want to play the game kind of thing.
Right.
Like, he's just like, you know what? I don't even think he's, like, going to sleep thinking, like, oh, I'm the best. It's just like, I did what I had to do, and that was it. Like, I don't have a care for fighting anyone anymore. So if he does, great. Like, I think he's still definitely in his prime, but he doesn't need it. You know what I mean?
No, that's a great point. Khabib is huge to the hardcore MMA fans, to the hardcore, like, wrestling fans, the hardcore Sambo fans, like the real small market. He's not that marketable to the general public unless you can find a way to market maybe the mythos around him. Maybe you could try to do that, but it's again, I don't see him coming back regardless of what happens this weekend. I think he's happy where he's at, doing what he's doing, and I kind of think that's going to be the end of that. But I do want to just touch on a couple of the fights that did happen earlier today. The main event, Michael Chiesa beating Neil Magny by unanimous decision. Both these guys are kind of gatekeepers. I think they're ranked like 8th and 9th in the division. Neither guy has a real shot at getting a title shot anytime soon, but they also don't want to just fall off into being in preliminary fights, things like that. Right. So again, good win for Chiesa, kind of staying. He'll stay in the top 10. And another one that I just saw the clip of, the knockout, but it was Warley Alves beating Manuel Lazaz by TKO on a combo that I think is kind of straight out of a video game, where he just hit 3 consecutive leg kicks, and I don't mean like leg kick, gather yourself, walk around, leg kick. It was like boom, 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 3 kicks like within a second. You could just see it dropped him. It's body shot knockouts are like the worst thing you can ever see, because like things are seriously wrong.
That's just hurting you inside.
Yeah. So dropped him with 3 straight kicks to the side, got on top, threw a couple punches, and ended that out. So that was a fun knockout. Like I said, I didn't really get to see any of this card. I'll probably try and go back and watch it maybe tonight or tomorrow. But again, just happy the UFC's back. I mean, this is, again, their second fight in 4 days, and we got the big McGregor-Poirier rematch this upcoming Saturday. We'll talk more about that on Friday. But glad to have the UFC back and giving us so much action.
And I mean, honestly, like, I would have to say, like, I've been a UFC fan, but during the, when everything was shut down and they were just like event, every weekend they were committed to that. Like, if you really watch, you do get more of a respect for the technique of it. Like, there's different kind of styles. Like, all right, this guy, like, yeah, he's a great puncher, but who knows what happens when he goes on the ground. This guy's a great wrestler. Like, so I thought them just being out there was a very, like, strong point for that as a actual sport, just because, like, and then you see, their first one this year, it's on ABC. Not really like we're going to showcase, like, all the breadth of what's going on here, but, like, I thought everything was building up to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great sport. I mean, I I know the Baron. Shout out to the Baron, but
Shout out there.
he's like, they're cage fighters. It's like a bloodbath, whatever. But there is an element of that, but just the multiple techniques that come into it, like boxing has just kind of become a joke at this point, like because
Sadly.
you don't know what the judging is going to be. You don't know, like, oh, this guy's champion here, but he's not, whatever here. And it's like, so UFC, it's like, yes, you have to take a little bit of a haircut as far as like just aligning with them. But I think it is like the best, like, sort of showcase of like different kind of styles and, fighters. And it doesn't have to be just like a straight bloodbath cage fight. Like, it's just like, all right, there is, like, if you actually sit down and watch it, there is a lot of technique that goes into this. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to box this guy? You're going to go wrestle him? Like, roll around on the ground? Like, who knows? But
yeah, no, I've been a fan from way back in the day. Like, I remember renting, like, some of the early UFC fights on VHS from Blockbuster. Even at the time, like when I first started watching Hoist Gracie, like jiu-jitsu, I didn't get it. I thought jiu-jitsu was boring. Like, I couldn't understand what he was doing. And then kind of the more I watched it, it's like even that, like the chess match on the ground of like, okay, this guy's trying to set up an omoplata, but he's going to fake a triangle choke to do it. Like, the more you watch it, the more you get into it. And
bullfight. All right, Baron, chill out. All right, you know what?
Unfortunately, we are not the bullfighting show of record here on the Queen Network.
Well, maybe
maybe we could be, but
soon to come. But no.
But yeah, no, it is. It's again, everybody loves boxing, and look, don't get me wrong, I love watching two guys just stand in a pocket wailing on each other. It's fun. Like, it's hard to not get excited, but like, I love the wrestling aspect. I love the Muay Thai aspect. I love the jiu-jitsu, and it's the more you watch it, the more you pick up on it, the more I think you become entertained by the chess match of it.
And I think, honestly, they've added more like weight classes. They added the women's division, like. And then you see the styles come into it. It's like, all right, here's like a brawler. Like, here's someone that wants to get on the ground. Like, there's a lot more like kind of science that goes into it. And it's just going to be like, all right, are you in the UFC? Like, are you the champion or are you not? Like, you're all going for that.
Yeah, so, there's not 7 different organizations with a weight class every 2.5 pounds.
You don't have to deal with the, just like
WBO, WBA, IBF.
Yeah, this guy's like super nice in Ukraine, but we never seen him fight here, or like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, yes, like I said, and I don't want to get into the whole mishmash of like how much these guys could or women could or should get paid, but. Sure. You're there, and you see the best. Like, it's just like different styles, mixing it up, and I think UFC really showed out well by just like putting an event on every single weekend, like fight night, pay-per-view, whatever it was. Like, they carried us kind of through that 2020, and now, I don't know what it's gonna pay out for. As far as we go to the new year, but I think it hopefully, like for me especially, I can only speak for myself, just gave me a new appreciation of like, this is kind of a really good sport. Like, there's a lot going on here. Like, there's technique, there's a lot of training, obviously, like any big fight that you're preparing for, but just seeing the different styles like come together. So I hope they just keep that momentum going into 2021, but who knows?
Yeah, well, look, they're starting off big again. Big pay-per-view this weekend. Again, we'll touch on that a little bit more on Friday, kind of run down the card there. Also, Jaime, I did see that. Shout out Priscilla Kelly. I saw 2 other people got signed too. I don't remember who it was, but shout out to them. But that was all I really had today, Ronnie. You're still alive. You're still with us. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here tonight?
No, I'm just going to give you a live shot of my tonsils.
Wait,
here.
no, I was going to say look away if you're squeamish.
It's not good. So I am at home for the moment, as you can see.
Oh no!
As I told you, under the weather a little
Tag
bit.
this NSFL, not safe for life.
But thank you guys, as always, for calling, commenting. We love just hanging out with you guys, talking about sports, whatever it is, any kind of sport, doesn't matter. I mean, me and Tyler are the ultimate, sports nerds, baseball, football, anything.
Even the obscure sports, we'll watch it. We'll give it a shot.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
I mean, we are the team handball show of record.
Congolese, yes.
The Congolese team handball show of record. So thank you guys, as always. Thank you for bearing with me. I was kind of, if I was going to put the show on tonight. But thank you guys. We'd love to hear from you guys and see you guys. And we will be back with you on Friday. Hopefully a little bit, from my point of view, stronger a voice.
A little better weather.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thank you, Ronnie, for doing the show. Definitely go keep pounding the fluids in the Alka-Seltzer. Get better. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.